Toastmaster, President, officers, members, and guests. Title of my speech tonight is from a famous quote by Yogi Berra, "It ain't over till it's over." I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself, who I am, some of the obstacles and challenges that I face and have overcome. First, I'd like to tell you that I've been married for 25 years. And it's only taken me 4 wives to do it. I'm a father of 5. I have 4 daughters in college, and my son is in the Navy. I've been married to my wife, Sonja, for 10 wonderful years. I can honestly say I'm still on my honeymoon. My life right now is pretty fantastic and amazing, but it wasn't always that way. I was raised by my mother, who suffered from mental illness. Back in those days, they just called it a nervous breakdown. Her medical diagnosis was schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, which they call schizoaffective. That was a heck of a combination. She was both brilliant and nuts at the same time. Growing up with her left me full of doubts and many insecurities. My father was absent, except for the 4th grade, and also half of the 11th grade, which left me searching for an identity. I was moved back and forth across the country. I went to 3 different high schools in 3 different states, California, North Carolina, and Massachusetts, before finally dropping out my senior year, and after which I pursued a GED and became valedictorian of that class. Then I decided to join the Army to see if I could be all I could be. That didn't work out so well. I managed to get myself kicked out before I finished basic training. I went from one dead-end job to another, from one failed relationship and marriage to another. However, I did manage to become a journeyman refrigeration steam fitter, servicing and repairing industrial, commercial, refrigeration, air conditioning, and heating. While it looked like things were getting better, life began to get on the upswing for me. So I thought. But then I got divorced again. Then I ended up paying child support and alimony to the tune of over $1,800 a month. If you think things weren't bad enough, then I got laid off again. How many of you know child support don't stop just because you got laid off? That's a bad situation. My finances were a mess. I filed for bankruptcy. My house was foreclosed on. I was behind thousands and thousands of dollars in state and federal taxes. I began to feel the gravitas of the situation. And if things couldn't get worse, my body started breaking down. I had rotator cuff surgery, not on one, but both shoulders. Then I had 2 spinal cord operations. I got 6 screws in my neck right now. No one can tell me my head's not screwed on straight. My medical bills began to pile up, and I was suffering bouts of depression, despair, and many times hopelessness. I bet you're feeling pretty good about your life about now. Or maybe you can relate to some of this. How many of you think if I put this story in a book, it might be a bestseller? Don't worry, it's coming to a bookstore near you soon. That's my shameless plug. But now let me recap. Divorced 3 times, behind on child support, behind in taxes, state and federal. Medical bills piling up, bankruptcy, foreclosure. Things were really rough. I was considering leaving the country. Had a ticket, but it was a round trip and I decided to come back. I was really desperate. I didn't know what to do. My biggest obstacle to leaving was I had 3 daughters that I love dearly. I couldn't leave my girls. So I started reading books and watching videos on topics, anything I thought that could improve my life. I started meditating and doing yoga. And making a decision to stay, I continued to pick my girls up every weekend and midweek visits. Times were hard, but we made the best of it. There was very little money and barely enough to eat and keep a roof over our heads at times. We ate chicken nuggets and $2 Jack pizzas. I bought a $2 kite. We flew it until the wings fell off. I bought a $3 kickball. We kicked it until we kicked a hole in it. Our only other entertainment was baking brownies, another cheap way of having fun with the girls. There's an old church saying that trouble don't last always. They didn't tell me how long it would last. Seemed like it would never end. But somehow I persevered. I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. I began to put into motion many of the things that I was learning and started to dig myself out of this deep, dark hole, little by little. I called up everyone I owed money to and made payment arrangements. Then I landed a job as a senior technical instructor, teaching building automation, mechanical systems, traveling across the country. I always made it home to spend time with my girls. Things were getting so much good, I figured I'd try my hand at this new online dating. I was on there for about 1.5 years. I dated the good, the bad, the ugly, and the crazy. And then I met Sonja and her 2 kids. We dated for about 11 months and got married. We worked through some of our blended family challenges. As I said before, we're still on our honeymoon. Things for me are pretty enjoyable right now. Presently, I get to enjoy my favorite activities, traveling around the world, skiing in places like the French Alps, Aspen and Vail, Colorado, Big Sky, Montana, scuba diving in exotic locations like Grand Caymans and Jamaica, golfing in places like Mexico, Hawaii, and Dominican Republic. And I had the chance to visit the Taj Mahal in India. As I said before, things in my life right now are pretty fantastic and amazing. No matter what your challenges you may be facing and going through, I want you to know it ain't over till it's over. I'm your humble servant, Stephen A. Millet, working to be a transformational speaker and life coach. That is my time. I thank you for yours.